In preparation of this meeting, as I was thinking about this situation, I remember my good friend Mike. I met Mike. He was a colleague of mine when I was in corporate, and Mike was a little bit odd. Every time you say to Mike, "Mike, how are you doing?" "Fabulous." "Mike, how are you doing?" "I'm fabulous." And one day I said, "Mike, you know, you're so full of it. You can't be fabulous every day." And then he told me the reason for being fabulous. He said, "You know what? When you spend 2 years in the jungle in Vietnam, in a swamp, on your stomach, with bullets flying over your head, the rest of your life is just fabulous." And so it occurred to me that, you know, Mike is a really good friend. And it occurred to me that under different circumstances, I might have aimed at him and shot him. And he might have aimed at me and shot me. So when you look at life, and you look at your own life, there's two things that have the greatest influence with regard to your influence on others, on your family, on friends, and maybe perhaps on the world at large. It is your own desire and the crowd that you hook up with. I hooked up with the wrong crowd, there's no doubt. And the decisions that we make to attach ourselves to a certain cause is usually made very early in life. And that's at a time when we're really not qualified to make that decision. So we need sort of gentle guidance. Well, I got guidance out of the wrong quarters, and you'll hear about this a little bit. And quite frankly, I've been in this country now for almost 40 years. I've been a citizen for 3 years, and obviously as an ex-agent, I'm observing the world around me. And I am sad to say that we as a nation today are not doing a very good job giving guidance to our young people to make the right decision. I can't explain the fact that more than 40% of the millennials think that socialism is a good idea. I can't explain this in any other way. We're not giving them good guidance. I'm now not at a point where I say this is a perfect country. There's no such thing as a perfect country. There's no such thing as a perfect human being. But I'd rather be here than any place else, because we have something here, and we still have it, that I don't think is available anywhere else in the world, and that's called freedom. I got to go with this now because this is very important to me. So regardless of intent, you look at what happened here between the United States and the Russians. The Soviets took stuff out of Germany, and the Americans invested in Germany. And so now it is so many years later, I go back to Germany, and they have forgotten what the Americans did to bring Germany back. This is called the Wirtschaftswunder, the miracle of the West German economy. That was seeded by the Marshall Plan. It was seeded by the Americans. And nowadays, and I am sad to say that it is quite likely that if you meet a random German, it's quite likely that they might actually side with Putin rather than with the United States. And in that matter, they pretty much succeeded, because what we're doing now, we're throwing bombs at each other. The Book of Mark, 2,000 years old, a house divided against itself will not stand, famously quoted by Abraham Lincoln. And we are right now very busy dividing our own house. Get to that question, is Russia a friend or foe? Never was a friend, doubtful it ever will be. I wouldn't call it foe or enemy, but at least adversary. That's where we are today. And there's no doubt about it, and anybody who thinks that we can make nice, no. But we have to sort of coexist in some way for one reason and one reason only. There are nuclear weapons. Do the Russian spy? Do the chicken lay eggs?
With your background, former KGB, do you ever fear for yourself, your safety, when you're traveling, when you're talking about this, because of your book?
I give you the best non-answer I can give you. Have you ever been to the beach for a lengthy vacation?
Of course.
You remember when you come back and years later you still find sand in your luggage? Mm-hmm. I still have sand in that luggage.